Kitchens are often the heart of the home, and previously our kitchen, it was dark and was not very welcoming. In today's video, I'm going to walk you through our $300 budget kitchen makeover that made a huge difference. So stay tuned. Hey, I'm Lindsay with Organized to Save, and I'm here to help you become more organized and productive with budget-friendly tips, tricks, and digital products to help you declutter and simplify your home. Now, I absolutely love to cook and entertain, but our kitchen, it was so dark and not very pleasant to cook in. Today's video, I'm going to walk you through how we completely transformed our kitchen on under $300 and share with you my budget-friendly tips and tricks that we used along the way in order to completely transform the space. Before you dive into any big project, it's going to be super important that you first establish a budget. If you've been around here for long, you know that I do everything on a budget. Since we had our budget established, we knew we wouldn't be able to do too many crazy projects, so we figured out what easy things that we could do in order to make a big impact, but on a small budget. And one of the biggest things that you can do is to invest in paint. When starting a big project, it's important to stay organized. Before we started painting, I drew out a diagram of our kitchen on my iPad and then marked each cabinet to make sure we knew where they go, but also what color to paint them. Now, we ended up using a paint system from Rustoleum, which I highly recommend. We found it from the Home Depot, and everything that I talked about I'll have linked down below. Now, this system was a multi-step process, but before we started any of the steps, we took all of the doors and drawers off. And keep in mind when you're removing all of the hardware to make sure that you store it in a container so you don't misplace it, especially if you're going to be reusing it. We had purchased some new handles a few months back, but we decided we were going to use the same hinges and just update them by spray painting them. To prep for painting, I needed to remove everything from the cabinets and tape off all of the cabinets. We had only painted the outside of the cabinets, so I taped off the inside to assist with clean lines while painting. The first step in this kit is to use a deglosser. This eliminates the need to sand or prime any previous finishes, so it's a super DIY friendly process. This kit comes with most of the supplies that you're going to need. The only other additional supplies that you might need are paintbrushes or drop cloths, obviously the tape, anything like that. But to use the deglosser, all that you're going to do is put the solution on your sponge and simply scrub down all of the surfaces. So the only thing that we modified about our cabinets was above our kitchen sink, there was this little extra piece of wood that just didn't fit our style anymore. And so taking this down was a super easy fix and made the space feel so much more open. For our lower cabinets, we used the gray cabinet paint, and then for the uppers, we used the pure white. Again, I'll have all this linked down below. Now, using two different colors, I will say there was a big difference between how the gray went on versus how the white went on. The gray went on super smooth and the paint was much thinner than the white paint. But I honestly love how these turned out in the end, so make sure you stay tuned to see the huge reveal. If you are loving this renovation video so far, please give it a big thumbs up and also make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss when I show you the inside of the cabinets real soon. We ended up having to do several coats of each color. We probably did a little bit more on the white just because with the dark cabinets that we had, we needed more coats to be able to get a clear coverage. To paint the cabinet bases, I simply just use a paintbrush for the colors. But then to do all the doors, my husband actually used a spray gun. So while I was inside, my husband used this paint sprayer and actually tackled all of the drawers and the doors out in our garage. Jared set up a little workstation out in our garage so that way he could spray all of the doors and the drawers properly. Using a paint sprayer, you definitely get a smoother finish. To dry everything, we simply just laid some slats of wood down on the ground. But learn from our mistakes. Be mindful if you're doing it, especially out in a garage. If there's any wind that comes in, things will stick to the paint. So we did have to redo one of the drawers and just touch up a couple spots. I ended up also painting our window, which made a huge difference on this space. Putting the white paint on there brightened up that space so much. I also touched up this window because there were so many holes and divots from where previous curtains and blinds had been hung. So just used some lightweight spackling to cover up all the holes, and what a difference it made. Now, this was a very lengthy process. This took us a very long time to do, but partially because we were dealing with some weather, because to be able to paint outside with the spray gun, we needed a certain temperature. The last step was to use the durable protective top coat. This is a clear coat that will help to resist scuffing, cracking, chipping, and peeling on your paint surface. Even without having the doors or any of the countertop work done, this was a huge transformation. Now, I'm going to be doing a whole separate video showing you the inside of the cabinets, but keep watching to see what we did to the countertops. I'd love to know from you, are you a chef or a baker? I definitely love eating the sweet treats, but cooking is a little bit more my strong suit. Let me know down below which one you prefer, or if you are a takeout diva. Now, if you've watched any of my previous videos, you might have seen me do this hack before, but I just use contact paper to redo our countertops. Now, obviously down the line, we will be investing in new countertops and a new sink and everything, but for right now, this is a great solution if you're needing to just simply update your space on a budget. This is also renter friendly. I would just say to eliminate one of the steps that I'm going to be showing you. But I picked up these rolls from Target, but you can find these anywhere. And I really like this marble pattern just because it's super bright and light, and it really helps to brighten up the space, because that was the number one thing that I wanted to do, was to lighten up the space. To finish off the countertops, I ended up using a polyurethane top coat and just simply used a foam brush just to brush this on over the entire countertops. Now, once you get all of the coats done, you're going to want to let it sit for a while before you start putting things back together, just because it needs to properly dry. But once it was properly dried, we went ahead and put on all the hardware, reattached the doors and the drawers. And this hardware I actually found for the entire kitchen off Amazon for under $30. And we have actually been using this hardware for several months now, because I put this on before we even tackled this project, and they are holding up really well. So if you remember the before of this kitchen, it was so dark, it just did not reflect our personality at all. And now let's go ahead and check out the after. I can honestly say that having this kitchen this way has been such a huge impact in our house. It makes it feel so much brighter and more welcoming, and I cannot wait to be able to have people over again, to be able to enjoy cooking for our family and friends. But this space has truly been a game changer as far as setting a welcoming environment for our home. Absolutely love all the finishing touches that we did. Adding the little touches of greenery just brings it a more lively feel to the space. And painting out the cabinets and the window completely transformed it. A few other simple but inexpensive updates that we did were to switch out the outlets to crisp white ones. And I also updated the window just by spray painting out the screen and the knobs, as well as adding in new blinds. It is literally night and day what this kitchen now looks like. If you're ready to start tackling your kitchen, maybe get it a little bit more organized, check out the video on your screen now for some awesome hacks in order to tackle those tricky spaces in your kitchen, like those corner cupboards on a Dollar Tree budget. We'll see you in that video.